We're here to record Big Talk by Shelley Washington. I met Shelley when she was a saxophone student. I taught Shelley saxophone for 3 semesters. Now she's become a successful composer in the New York area. Big Talk, like a lot of Shelley's music, is a reflection of her own experiences, and so that's something I really like about Shelley as a composer, is that she is able to put a narrative that has to do with, say, a memory or an experience that she's having into the music in a very specific way. The piece itself has a very groovy set of patterns that surface from time to time, and they alternate with one another. So there's a repetition that each saxophone goes through, and I think what's interesting about it is how you experience each saxophone, and then how when both saxophones come together you have a different experience as these composite rhythms start to grow out of 2 individual parts. One of the particularities of the baritone saxophone is that it has a low A, and it's 1/2 step lower than all of the other saxophones in the traditional family of saxophones. Shelley takes advantage of this unique characteristic of the baritone saxophone, the low A, and built these patterns around using that particular note on the saxophone. In classical saxophone, the large majority of the repertoire is for the alto saxophone. And so I think Big Talk is a great addition to the baritone saxophone repertoire, because it is written with the baritone saxophone in mind. It can only be played by baritone saxophones. And so I think that makes it all the more important, and hopefully a really strong addition to the bari sax repertoire. To have the opportunity to actually work with a composer who is also a saxophonist really just takes that to a whole other level. Sometimes when you get music by composers, you are basically just translating what you think they're trying to say. Whereas with Shelley, I have the opportunity to ask her directly and interact with her in that way. I think you get to know her very intimately by learning this piece, because she's very connected to it as a saxophonist and as a composer. D'Addario works with some extraordinary people, some high-profile people, and people from different parts of the world. I get the sense that everyone has the opportunity to have a great experience because their artist relations team is a wonderful team. I really believe in the products that I'm using. It's just been really easy for me to make the transition into that relationship. I use the reserved reeds for saxophone, and as a classical saxophonist, one of the things that we concern ourselves about most is response. And what they have done with the reserved line of reeds is combine the response that we're looking for as classical saxophonists with the body of sound that we're always trying to get and project through our instruments. And so for a piece like Big Talk, where you really need to make a lot of sound with the bari sax, you know, this product has been extremely beneficial, because I feel like I'm working with reeds that give me the response that I need, but also are giving me the range of sound and volume that the piece is demanding. What I enjoy doing with D'Addario quite a bit is when I get opportunities to go teach clinics or go to certain events where I'm at the table handing out products and getting to engage other people. Those are really rewarding, because I get the opportunity to meet a lot of young students, and even though I am there on D'Addario's behalf, I still feel like as a saxophonist I get to have an impact on their thinking as saxophonists or single reed players, and I get to have an impact on perhaps their determination to pursue music in some way. It's been important for me to be working with a product that I really believe in, because that allows me to walk into in any situation and basically say, this is something that's helped me, and here's how I'm using it to my benefit, and here's what you can get out of it. And I feel very comfortable in doing that with D'Addario, and I really relish any opportunity to go out there and talk to people about how they can use the products to better themselves or better their programs. The website is designed so that anyone who visits the site gets to have an experience that's driven by the photography. I wanted people to really get to see different sides, on the very personal end all the way to the professional end. I wanted people to feel welcome in that sense, and to find the website accessible, same as if they had just met me in person. And so right away, I hope you get to have that experience when you arrive at the website. The first thing that it asks you to do is to come in as if I was letting you into my home. The biography to me is really personal. I want that page to give someone the experience of getting a subtle glimpse of my heritage and my background, because I was born in Puerto Rico and raised in Puerto Rico until I was a teenager, and then came to the United States and started working on my music career. And even though most of the studying that I did was in the United States, my background still plays an important role in how I conduct myself as a musician, as a performer. The collaborators page, I think that sort of thematically is designed to complement the website in demonstrating the collaborative aspect of music. And I wanted to make sure that people had a clear understanding of the individuals that I've worked with throughout my career, and how important it's been for me to develop strong relationships, and that everything that I get to do is the result of really fruitful professional relationships. And I think that music is a team sport, that you can't do music and you can't be in music without professional collaborations. And so I want people to be able to see that right away.